Mic on? There we go. Now good morning. And good morning to our cactus, holiday cactus, which has bloomed for us. My name is Sammy Korean, and I am a average height, latte skin, black-haired male of Indian origin, dressed as per Indian custom in an airy jacket and long-sleeved kurta, donning orange tinted rimless spectacles. Did I get that? Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. And I'm also one of the peer-elected leaders of the senior youth group and a youth chaplain. Today, on the Sunday before Thanksgiving, we gather to consider how the making of bread is a metaphor for life. It's been a rough few weeks, and we hope this service brings you some hope and energy for the future. Before we begin, we have a few announcements. Multicultural families are invited to a luncheon, which will take place after this service. And the Christmas pageant signups are ongoing, so please do join us. Devin and I will be kings in the service, and we'd love to see you there. Now please join me in taking a deep breath in and out. And bring yourself fully into this special service. Let's welcome youth group members Jay Williams and Essa McGowan, and one of our awesome advisors, Chad, alongside Steve, Suzanne, and Alejandro as our hymn leaders today.
Hello, my name is Jay Williams. I am a 5'3" 3/4 African American. Please stand as you are able to for hymn number 407, Welcome Table.
We're gonna sit at the welcome table. We're gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days, hallelujah. We're gonna sit at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. All kinds of people at the welcome table. All kinds of people around that table one of these days, hallelujah. All kinds of people around that table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. No fancy style at the welcome table. No fancy style at the welcome table one of these days, hallelujah. No fancy style at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days.
Good morning. My name is Hannah Shell. My pronouns are she, her. I am an average height white teen girl with mid-length brown hair and glasses.
I am Abby Laney. Oh, hello. I am Abby Laney. My pronouns are she, her. I am a 5'5", on a good day 5'6", with my heels 5'8". Brown skin, brown haired teenage girl.
So, you know, Abby, I've got this feeling that it's time to light our chalice.
I think that's a very important step, and I think we should do that. So would any of our Beacon youth members like to light our chalice today?
Feel free to raise
Raise your hands all at once, why don't you? Ariana. Ellie, you wanna come up too? Everybody come on up. Come around this way. Come around this way. There's some fire difficulties. Okay, there we go.
So, you know, I've got a feeling that the congregation might like a few words to accompany this chalice lighting. Maybe even a song.
we should do that. I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric really when we turn it on. All through the city, all through our homes. We're lighting up no darkness when we hit the zone. I got that chalice in my pocket, got that good flame deep inside. Feel that warm love in my spirit when we meet. Ooh, I can take our eyes off it, flowing so phenomenally. Being wide open as we notice how special it is. And beside the flame, when everyone goes, nowhere to hide in the way they flow. When we sing, when you already know. So just imagine, just imagine, just imagine. Nothing we can do at all when we work together. All those things we need to know, so we gather here now. And as long as the flame is not leaving, please stay seated and keep believing.
Good morning. That was eventful. So, my name is Devin Nato. I'm a brown-skinned, 6'2", 14-year-old teen with curly hair. As we guide you into our youth-led services this morning, I'd like to speak to you about pluralism and how it intertwines with our Unitarian Universalist values and our bread communion this morning. We often hear that we often hear that Unitarian Universalism is a pluralistic faith. However, we don't dive in as deep into this topic as we should. Pluralism is the acceptance of all philosophical, religious, and scientific views. This value is integrated into Unitarian Universalism almost seamlessly, as some of us practice this without even knowing. As UUs, we strive to be welcoming and radically inclusive in all forms. So we seek truth in all forms and honor each individual and their experiences in this world. We've practiced tenets of pluralism for many decades now. Just as we welcome breads of many traditions and cultures as nourishment, knowing their similarities and differences bring vibrancy to our lives and taste buds. We also welcome the spiritual and religious beliefs of all loving humans as spiritual sustenance. Knowing that and sharing helps us to grow as people. We deepen relationships and we appreciate the diversity of our world that much more. Thus, pluralism is the foundation of radical inclusivity and the universal ingredient that allows us to feed the human spirit and heal the world. But the practice of pluralism is not just politely listening to stories shared. It requires that we actively make space for the truths of others, to be welcomed and equitably represented as a part of our faith tradition. Pluralism asks us to make room at the table and respect all dishes served, even the broccoli my dad hates. Pluralism requires our reflection and appreciation, awareness of our own limitations, understanding the boundaries of appropriation, accountability, and apology when we transgress, and our willingness to not just welcome the stranger, but to make the stranger a beloved friend. To love them fully and wholeheartedly, just as much as we love a freshly baked loaf of bread. This morning, we'll share how we do that as Beacon UU Youth.
Hello again, I'm Hannah, and I am one of the chaplains for the senior youth group. As a chaplain, I work to extend the spiritual care of the youth group community by offering intentional compassion through presence and active listening. Chaplains also lead our weekly ritual of community candle lighting. Together, we light candles of joy, sorrow, and gratitude. This morning, we light a candle of joy and gratitude for our compassionate youth chaplains at Beacon, a candle of gratitude for the individuals that will help provide a warm Thanksgiving meal to those in our community experiencing food insecurity, a candle of mixed blessing for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday, a time we can all practice gratitude for what we cherish most in our lives, and as we hold at the same time our complicated history with colonization. and a candle of sorrow for Pete Jones, who passed away last Saturday at the age of 99. His service will be held on December 14th at 10 a.m. at Beacon. We invite you now to come forward and light a candle for your own joy, sorrow, and gratitude.
Good morning. My name is Lois Wright. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a 5'7", brown hair, brown eyed girl. I go to Westfield High School, if any of you know Westfield. I'm here to share the reflection on kneading with a K. When making bread, kneading is the part where the ingredients get mixed together. Flour, water, yeast, and salt are mixed during the laborious task of kneading the dough. Kneading is the catalyst for reaching the bread, where individual ingredients become part of the dough. The ingredients connect, communicate, and ultimately join harmoniously to form what we know, bread. Now, the important part of this is that the ingredients get put together in the same bowl. The flour doesn't get its own little pan, and the salt isn't sitting in a separate pot. They're all together in the same situation. Each ingredient has equal opportunity to be tasted in the bread, but you can't make bread with only flour, and you can't make bread with only salt. The mixture and opportunity for each ingredient to participate is what creates the larger community, which is, in this case, the bread. The individual part of each ingredient can't become bread until it's kneaded, where it becomes part of the larger whole. The unique flavor of bread can only be reached if all the ingredients are participating and are doing their part. The Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary defines equity as fairness or justice in the way that people are treated. The ability of a greater community to work together and grow as a whole relies on equal treatment of people. Just like the equality of the ingredients of bread, unity and equality allow the creation of something greater. Our equity will allow us to become something greater. A community that supports, lifts, and enjoys. We can become bread if we all allow each other to grow and exist peacefully within our community. Thank you.
I would now like to invite our intern minister, Pablo Vasquez, to guide us in meditation.
Good morning, Beacon. That's great. My name is Pablo Vasquez. I'm your intern minister here at Beacon. I have long, curly, brownish black hair, caramel complexion, a flowery shirt, and my doctor had the misfortune of telling me a week ago that I am actually 5'6" and not 5'7". And so, as someone who doesn't bake, but nonetheless was asked by Thule to talk about it for some reason, I am, however, a fan of bread, and it was a wonderful thing to learn a little bit about the process to compose this meditation for you. So please close your eyes or center them on the image behind me as I lead you through this meditation. Now take a deep breath in and out, and as you exhale, release tension within you and settle into the present moment, feeling grounded. Imagine yourself in a warm kitchen, the soft morning light streaming in. There's a sense of peace, a place where things come together. The smell of fresh ingredients fills the air. We will now explore interdependence and justice through the process of baking. Picture preparing dough. The yeast is added to warm water, mixed with flour, and begins to rise. This is proofing. Just as yeast needs warmth and care to activate, we too require nurturing environments for growth. In a community, we are like the ingredients in dough, each contributing something essential. Like yeast, we need support, kindness, and resources to thrive. Justice begins with understanding that everyone deserves the chance to rise and to grow. Reflect on others' actions, large or small, and think about how they have helped activate your own potential. Now imagine the dough after kneading. It needs rest to allow the ingredients to form proper unity. Rest isn't idle, though. It's when the dough absorbs energy, binding together. Resting shows the power of interdependence there. Just as dough needs rest, individuals and communities need time to come together and reflect and strengthen their connections. Rest is about supporting each other and offering space for growth. A just society ensures everyone can rest and recharge without fear of being left behind. Reflect, please, on how rest has helped you rise again and how you can offer this space to others. Visualize the dough rising, expanding in light. With time and patience, it becomes a beautiful reflection of harmony. Rising represents flourishing together. In a just society, when all are given the tools to rise, the community grows stronger. When one rises, we all rise. Interdependence is understanding that our rise is tied to others. When everyone has the chance to grow, the entire community flourishes. Imagine a world where justice allows all to rise with dignity. As we end this meditation, appreciate the dance of interdependence, proofing, resting, and rising. Bread, seemingly, is not just a delicious food. It has so much to teach us. Like dough, we are connected. Our communities are stronger when justice nurtures everyone's growth. Take a deep breath in and out, sending gratitude for being part of this interconnected process. When ready, open your eyes, carrying with you the wisdom of interdependence and justice, knowing that as we rise together, and say thanks to the delicious bread for the wisdom. Thank you.
That was indeed spiritually delicious. Thank you, Pablo. Please welcome to the pulpit Richard Uniacke, who will offer our testimonial.
Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Rich Uniacke. I put Richard out there all the time, but it's really Rich. And I'm the president at Bridges Outreach. Hopefully, most of you are familiar with Bridges, but I want to tell you a little bit about what we got going on. Thank you. And I picked up on a few different things at this service as compared to the prior one. I really picked up on radical inclusivity, making space for the truths of others, and imagining a world that allows us all to rise with dignity. So at Bridges, we are really focused on two outcomes that are kind of simple, but actually very complicated. We work to prevent and end experiences of homelessness. And if you think about homelessness, and as some of us were talking about in between the services, that's complex. And in this society, typically, we blame homelessness on the person. Right? We consider them to be a product of their own bad decisions or write them off as being mentally ill or drug addicted. And we're not very good often, I think, at thinking about them as a part of our community, those people who happen to be experiencing homelessness and not having that homelessness be the entirety of their identity. There's a word that I have recently become aware of and fond of. If any of you follow Adam Grant, you may have come across it. It's called Sonder. And the definition goes like this. It's the realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own, populated with their own ambitions, friends, routines, worries, and inherited craziness. An epic story that continues invisibly around you like an anthill sprawling deeply underground, with elaborate passageways to thousands of other lives that you'll never know existed, in which you might appear only once as an extra sipping coffee in the background, as a blur of traffic passing on the highway, as a lighted window at dusk. So we do street outreach and intensive case management, so we literally go out there to meet people where they are, as we say. Sometimes that's on the street, maybe sleeping at a partially covered bus stop in Summit or in Newark or an abandoned building. And we serve throughout Essex and Union counties. But importantly, we meet people where they are figuratively, right? Wherever they are on their journey. Some folks are facing imminent homelessness. Some folks are in need of everything, including identity documents. And you may be aware that the point in time count the annual count of homelessness in New Jersey, was recently released, and it showed a 24% increase in homelessness in New Jersey year over year. That number, the total, something in the neighborhood of 12,680, I think. But also, at the same time, there is a statewide public dashboard that's provided by the Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency, and it's a dashboard of the HMIS, the Homeless Management Information System. So literally every single touch point that exists in this homelessness prevention and services ecosystem. So as an outreach provider, as a case management provider, every one of those encounters goes into HMIS, as we call it. And that number, so far this year, of the number of people who have engaged to deal with their homelessness is more than 70,000. And to make matters more interesting, the number of people who have engaged for the prevention of their imminent homelessness, if it were a city, they would represent the third largest city in New Jersey. It's in excess, year to date, of more than 179,000 people who have engaged for the prevention of their imminent homelessness. And why do I say that, right? I don't remember if you said it at the start of this service. You said it at the start of the last service. It's been an interesting few weeks. Maybe you said a rough few weeks. It's been a rough few weeks, right? And the work that we do to engage with people who are experiencing homelessness is often with people who not everybody cares so much about their journey. And that's the work that we have to continue to lean into so that we as a community can rise, right? Because however you look at it, the cost-effective relationship that we have to ending homelessness, because it is cost-effective to keep people from experiencing homelessness, or you care about these journeys as an individual human being who should have the right to a place they can call home, just by virtue of being a person in this community. We have to keep leaning in. We have to keep being unwilling to accept that this is a normal part of things. That when we go through Penn Station, we're just going to see people who are living in public who are asking for money, and that there are going to be some vast numbers of our community who think that we shouldn't give them money because we don't trust how they're going to spend those dollars. That we have the right to dictate how you spend those dollars. So I want to bring it close to home real quick and give you just a small example of something that recently took place. We had a 79-year-old Summit resident who lived in her apartment for more than 20 years, who found herself facing eviction, 4 months behind on her rent, and she had a lockout scheduled for Halloween. And as you might imagine, if you've ever had any kind of crisis in your family, in your household, it becomes like a full-time job just to navigate that. She went to all manner of agencies, and everybody denied her, because her rent had become $2,200 and her Social Security income is $900. So she's unsustainable and 4 months behind on her rent, so nobody would pay those rental arrears. So as a society, the answer is, I'm sorry, ma'am, you're going to have to become homeless before we can help you? How does that make sense? And that's really one of the greatest joys of my job, is to be able to backstop situations like that and say, no, we're not going to make this person experience homelessness. We're going to figure this out, and if we can't, frankly, we're going to pay for it and figure out where the money's going to come from later, because this should not be what we are accustomed to and willing to accept. And what I'm really proud to be able to say is that our team brought together half a dozen agencies and brought in DCA, the Department of Community Affairs, to cobble together 4 months of back rent plus 3 months of forward-looking rent to give ourselves some kind of a runway to be able to find a sustainable, permanent solution for this person in our community. We should be unwilling to accept dead ends for people. We should be expecting that we are going to figure it out so that we can all rise together. I really appreciate you giving me the time to speak about this today. Thank you so much.
Today's offering, we do with gratitude for our community. This morning's offering will now be gratefully received.
Can you hear me? There we go. Today, Maya and I, we will be playing Shostakovich Prelude, which was originally written for 2 violins, but is adapted for 2 cellos. So thank you.
Good morning. My name is Izzy San Miguel LaGrue. I am a short, brown-skinned, dark brown-haired girl. I'm wearing a white and black striped sweater and black pants. Just like bread in the oven, we often face hardships that feel just like a trial by fire, yet it's those moments that shape and transform us for the better. The next step in our bread-making process, and the best step in my opinion, is the baking step, where the dough finally gets put into the oven. All the individual ingredients finally come together in the oven and transform into a delicious loaf of bread fit for eating. Before bread can become bread, we mix a bunch of ingredients together in different amounts. Some are sweet, some are salty, and some may not taste like anything at all. All sorts of ingredients go into bread, but ultimately, they all work together to create a tasty treat. In terms of us, our experiences in life are our own ingredients. Just like the ingredients that go into bread, our experiences might be sweet or salty, and just like each individual grain, we experience millions of them in our lifetime. For bread, the oven is where the magic happens. The bread rises and it changes shape in the heat of the oven. As magical as this can be, it can also be scary sometimes. What if the ingredients were measured wrong? What if the bread doesn't rise? What if it comes out tasting bad? For us, life is where the magic happens, and while we might not ask those exact questions, we may find ourselves asking, what if I'm not strong enough to go through this? Or what if everything goes wrong? Change can be terrifying. In fact, I think it's kind of funny that I was chosen to speak about this specific topic because if you know me, you know I absolutely hate change. I'm a creature of habit, and I always have been. However, this past year has taught me a lot about transformation, growing, and learning. The way I see it, life can sometimes be our oven. I know it sounds silly, but hear me out. Sometimes we go through experiences that just feel like constant heat beating down on us that won't ever let up, and it's scary, but these experiences are the ones that will change us for the better once we come out of the oven. We are constantly transforming in life, going in and out of that hot oven. Though who we are when we come out of the oven is not the same as who we were when we went into the oven, and that is a very good thing. If you put dough into the oven and it comes out exactly the same, something is very wrong, and you actually might want to check on your oven. My point is, transformation is vital in our lives, and I think that the baking step in the bread making process represents this beautifully. Thank you.
Good morning again. I'm reading this for my friend Abby, who unfortunately had to leave early today. I was recently talking to my friend. I was trying to explain that even just giving a small piece of bread can change the world. They said, I don't think a simple piece of bread can do that. Well, the Merriam-Webster dictionary states that the action of being generous stresses warm-hearted readiness to give more than size or importance to the gift. In our community, it is represented by so much more. Like, for example, I currently am a student trainer for the varsity sports in my high school. I give my time and energy to help ensure that they are the best variation of themselves. Yet not everyone here has to clean football pads every day because generosity can come in many ways. Whether holding the door for someone, sending math homework to your friend, or sharing food. Today, we get to dive a little deeper into one of these examples. Yep, that's right, math homework. I'm joking, don't worry. Today, we embark on our great tradition of sharing bread. Each year, we hold our bread communion, but it is always nice to understand why we are doing this celebration. The sharing of bread signifies a couple of our major values, like generosity, equity, and justice. As we pass the bread around throughout our sanctuary, you should keep in mind that generosity is evident in the willingness to share with others, regardless of differences, and in our continued intention to contribute to the common good. This seemingly simple act symbolizes the commitment to offering support and resources to others. As you look around the room, everyone in our community, whether it is online or physically, equity is reflected in the belief that everyone deserves to receive what they need to live a prosperous life. Sharing bread serves as a reminder that as we continue to work towards creating a just community, resources should be distributed fairly, ensuring that no one is left behind or neglected. And by sharing bread, we, as Unitarian Universalists, reaffirm our commitment to fighting against injustice and inequality, working towards a more just and equitable society. Whether you clean football pads, send math answers, or pass bread along to the person beside you, we are all acting upon our UU values and goals. So if anyone here ever tells you that something as small as sharing bread can't change the world, then I want you to look them right in the eye and say, yes, it can, because it already is. Okay, now is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to eat the bread. Well, almost, not quite. Please listen carefully as I share how our bread communion will work. Our Beacon Youth Group members will come to each aisle and up to the balcony with baskets of bread. Thank you, Dana and Thule, for preparing bite-sized pieces for us. Please take 2 breads of your choice, 2 pieces. Leave gluten-free and specialty breads for those with dietary restrictions, but please do not eat the bread yet. We're holding it until I give the very specific command to tell you to eat it. Once everyone has a piece of bread, we will reflect on our gratitude, and then we will eat the bread. Just wait for my cue. Youth group, please grab your bread baskets and share it here in the main sanctuary and up in the balcony. we all have our piece of bread? Have we eaten it yet? Very good, very good. Okay, so everyone has their piece of yummy, delicious bread. Okay, so I want you all to hold it between your fingers. I want you to think about what this bread represents to you. For your community, for all the people around the world, think about how this bread connects us and nourishes so many. With gratitude for our bodies and minds, use your senses to appreciate the bread as you are able. Look at the bread. Envision it in your mind's eye. Its transformation from individual ingredients to the small wonder now in your hand. Feel the texture of the bread and consider how each ingredient relies on another to make it so. Squeeze it. Listen for the sound of its crunch or its squish. Listen, imagine how it must have felt to knead the bread. Smell the bread. Imagine its scent wafting through the kitchen where it was baked. Imagine the excitement of the people who baked the bread for this very occasion. Imagine the love they baked into this piece of bread in hopes that you would eat it, enjoy it, and feel nourished by it. Imagine sharing that joy and love with others in this space and beyond. Go ahead and send that love to all the pieces of bread in this sanctuary and in this community and in this world. Take a moment to appreciate that you too were thought of, cared for, and deeply loved in this community. And when you're ready, you may eat the bread. Savor every morsel, take the spirit of love, chew, and swallow. And finally, say or type in the chat one word to express your gratitude for feeding and caring for yourself and for the sharing of others, for the fuel your body needs to do the work and justice in the world. So, how do you feel? Hungry, someone said? We just ate the bread. Do you need another piece of bread? Beloveds, let us reflect on the way we can embody generosity, equity, and justice in our lives. Let us be mindful of the interconnectedness of all beings, recognizing that our well-being is tied with the well-being of others. As we do, let us also turn our hearts to the broader journey we all share. Just as bread sustains us and connects us to others, our shared journeys are connected and sustained by the earth, our beautiful blue boat home.
In this spirit of unity and interconnectedness, let us lift our voices in song once more. This would not be a proper youth-led service without the hymn Blue Boat Home, which beautifully captures the essence of our shared voyage and our deep connection to the world around us. As we sing, may we feel the strength of our community and the boundless love that guides us on our way. Please rise as you are able and join us in singing hymn 1064 in your blue hymnal. I've been sailing all my life now.
said you could sit. Come on. I appreciate the sentiment, though, as a tired person myself. All right, everyone hold hands as we do here. Interconnect like the dough, as I was talking about earlier. Everyone's already risen, so we did that part. And don't worry, we'll get to the rest soon. For now, the benediction. May we all rise together. May we all revel in our interconnectedness. May we all go and bring rest and beauty and love into the world, and hopefully bring a little bit of rest and comfort as well. May you all go on this Sunday into a lovely day, and also perhaps enjoy some more bread. Thank you.